Years ago, I was with Shruti Kirti, and so I took the opportunity to ask him a question, which was on my mind, probably was on my mind for a long time. I wanted to know what displeased Prabhupada the most. Now, Prabhupada was often displeased, but the next moment, once the devotee rectified the situation, he was fine. He didn't carry it with him. That was Prabhupada's nature. But what really displeased him, like we always ask, well, Prabhupada, what will please you the most? Well, I'm asking what will displease you the most? And Prabhupada said, philosophical deviation. I mean, not Prabhupada said, Shruti Kirti said that he saw when devotees were concocting or compromising or deviating from the philosophy, that's when he was most upset. Now, that's interesting. One of the reasons I think it's interesting is because if we don't study Prabhupada's books, then inadvertently we may philosophically deviate out of ignorance. We just don't know. Or we may rationalize. I can't follow something. Then I start to think, probably nobody could follow it. Maybe we need to change the philosophy. Maybe Prabhupada was only preaching to hippies, and maybe everything ended in 1977. There's a new idea, a new way of looking at things. So then we create a rationale for our weakness. We create a new philosophy, a new deviation. Deviation is not difficult. Don't think that because you're sincere, you couldn't misunderstand the philosophy. It's possible. The path to hell is paved with good intentions. So, very important to learn the philosophy clearly, study Prabhupada's books, learn from your spiritual master, learn from the senior devotees, and be chaste to the teachings of Prabhupada, not thinking, well, maybe he really didn't mean that. Okay, that may be, but generally not. And if that is the case, you would have to demonstrate that by examples of other things Prabhupada said, other things he did, other things he taught. So it requires a rigorous analysis, not just, well, I feel like this, and Prabhupada really couldn't mean this, or he said that, but that was just in this one particular incident. Okay, maybe it was, but maybe it wasn't, and you can't just say it. And if you don't study Prabhupada's books well, and you hear from other people, or you read other books, this is a problem, then you read other books. Books that you read should be understood through the light of Prabhupada's Siddhanta. Sometimes you'll read the books and commentaries of acharyas, but they're not looking at it through Prabhupada's lens. They're preaching to another audience. It's always important to remember that. Okay, the acharyas' commentaries are valuable, but understand they were speaking to a different audience at a different time. Prabhupada comes, kind of amalgamates Siddhanta, puts it in a way, or I would say spices it in a way that is understandable, tasty, and digestible to the Western mind. And he showed his expertise at that. I don't think anyone could have done what Prabhupada did. I don't think they could have put it within the way and within the context that he put it in. So we are meant to be chaste to the Siddhanta that Prabhupada gave, even though some people outside of ISKCON may say something different, even though acharyas may say something that's a little different. We shouldn't think, well, maybe I just don't understand, or maybe Prabhupada was just watering it down for us. Or, do you realize that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta had disciples who disagreed with his Siddhanta? Prabhupada had disciples that disagreed with his Siddhanta because they heard from people outside of ISKCON. Very, very dangerous. The fact is that Prabhupada understood the Siddhanta exactly, and he exactly understood what we needed to understand, and he exactly understood how much we could digest. And I think a lot of devotees are trying to digest way too much too soon. Godbrother of mine just recently told me a story. It's kind of humorous, but sad also. He was associating with some people outside of ISKCON, and they were discussing Bhagavatam, the gopis, and one young woman was singing a song glorifying one of the gopis, Tunga Vidya. And she had a beautiful voice. The verses were beautiful. And he went up to her and said, you sing really beautiful. What are those verses? And she said, well, these verses are glorifying Tunga Vidya. And he said, that's really nice. He said, do you ever chant Gita verses? Because the way you chant it's exquisite, and I think it would really be attractive. And guess what she said? She said, no, I never read the Bhagavad Gita. So that's not the way Prabhupada trained us. That's not the way he taught us, to jump to the intimate Leelas in the 10th canto and learn those shlokas without having a foundation in our philosophy. So again, let's go back to the first point. Prabhupada's greatest upset, greatest concern, the thing that disturbed him most was when we didn't understand and present Siddhanta, when we altered it, we changed it, because that could destroy and pollute our whole sampradaya. So it's your duty, it's my duty, it's all of our duties to preserve the Siddhanta that Prabhupada gave to us, apply it with our intelligence practically, and show others how to apply it and help them understand it.